I was exhausted. I was done, emptied out. But at the end of the day, I had a vision. And that vision manifested within days.
Today we're here with Elaine Warick, who through her story is showing us the power of decision and not just settling for mediocrity, but choosing greatness. Thank you for being here today, Elaine.
Thanks for having me.
So you were in a profession that you were still passionate about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but when you looked at where you were in a workplace environment.
It was toxic. Very toxic, yeah. Well, I'd worked at this organization for almost 10 years, and I'd built a very strong foundation for fund development. We were raising our money. We'd surpassed our goals every year. And then something changed, and it isn't about what changed, it's how I changed. All of a sudden, I bought into fear, like there wasn't going to be enough. And what happens, the economy is changing. And I bought into that. And as I did that, the environment just became more toxic. People started getting hired because they were people who were going to fix everything, and I was trying to do that. And what happened, I got very ill because I knew this isn't how I could survive, but I didn't know what to do. I wasn't going to leave because I was making a lot of money, and every time I would speak about leaving, they would offer me more money to stay. And why wouldn't they? I was successful. But what was happening was that success was starting to dwindle. We started to see a decline. And I'm thinking, this is not who and what I am. I don't believe this. But I did not have the courage at the time to leave. So I got very ill. I hurt my back. I was on my back for 6 weeks. I was told my benefits had run out. And actually my benefits, because at that time I was 67 years old. And I didn't realize that I couldn't get long-term disability, so that wasn't going to work. Working away, not feeling well, no energy. And I went to an immersion experience that you did. And I'd been to many, and I'd formed a vision, whatever else, but this time, it was time to write something new. This time, I heard it loud and clear, make the decision, and the rest will take care of itself. And I walked into the office to the CEO and I said, I'm giving you 30 days notice and I'm leaving, and I made the decision.
So and I was trying to remember how you and I got set up and started working together. Was that where the vision came from, or did you have the vision before we started to do the Dream Builder program together?
I had a vision because I did a lot of that vision work.
Yeah.
The thing that I didn't have was the support to manifest it.
Okay.
So you were in the vision. It didn't matter who it was. It just happened to be you. And I'm very happy with that.
Yeah.
But I was open to saying, I need guidance. And I need someone who's not going to let me off the hook. Mm-hmm. Because I can talk my way out of most things. Yeah. And I can go down a rabbit hole faster than anybody. And, and this is terrible. And I know the economy and I know blah, blah, blah. And your conversations with me, I have the thought, I can't even get it out of my mouth because I know, don't go there. That's just not vision-based conversation.
So you had a vision, you knew what you wanted, but you didn't know how to make that vision a reality.
Yeah.
And so you needed support.
And I think I was stuck on how as well. That was the greatest learning. That I wasn't clear enough on the vision. I wasn't living as if. Mm-hmm. It was there and it was clear, but I didn't know how to get to it.
Yeah.
To the vibration of it, to the feeling in it, to be immersed in, wallow in the glory of it, I guess. I didn't allow myself to go there. Mm. And that's why immersion is the answer. Because for 3 days, you're living it. You're living the dream. And you walk out of there and you can carry that with you for days. And then you have a call on Monday at noon and you get back to where you were. And I look forward to that call. Many times not wanting to go to it because I want to be miserable, my old paradigm or my old way of thinking, but I go to the call. I'm very consistent.
Yes, you are.
So my life has grown consistently, expanded, deepened, it's richer. I had great love in my life, great relationships, but I also had very toxic relationships because I was a fixer. I wanted to fix. Everybody came to me for fixing because I had this great attitude, but it was destroying me. Yeah.
And so you're in this job, it's impacting your health, you're exhausted, you're done, and there's a moment where you make a decision, I'm not doing this anymore.
Right.
And on the other side of that decision, support started to show up, ideas, and you made some changes.
There's magic out there to be experienced, and the magic are the moments when you can see clearly that that's possible. I really felt that I was 68 years old. I was ready, headed for retirement. I thought maybe I'll just work a little bit and try to accumulate some more money so we can do that, whatever. But I loved what I did, and I realized how much I loved what I did when I started my company, teaching people about philanthropy during COVID. Everybody was panicked because they were so engaged in circumstance-based thinking and looking at their circumstances and going, we can never raise money. And people were, not-for-profits were shutting down and whatever. And I worked with an organization, one first, and we thrived. We went over budget. And it's because I was able to guide people, because I was guided through a process that said, those are just circumstances. Take care of what we have, be grateful, and it will grow, and it did. And it still is.
So you started your company working with organizations where common hour thinking, condition-based thinking was the economy, COVID, they were panicking, and you taught them a new way to think that regardless of the conditions and circumstances, anything's possible.
Yeah, we raised $15 million and built a building, a beautiful place where people come in their last stages of their life to die. I've moved on to do more mentoring and teaching for people in the field of philanthropy, and yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
You took an organization, and now many organizations, and taught them how to thrive regardless of their conditions.
Right. Knowing there's always enough. Teaching people that it's just take care of people. Just inform them, educate them, inspire them, and not worry about how much money are they going to give. Now I'm actually coaching people in that organization to think that way. So it's really fun.
So talk a little bit about how easy it is to get caught up in the fear-based thinking and the conditions, and what do you do to protect yourself from that?
Call Stacey. That's one thing, because I know as my coach is available if I'm in a place where I know I don't want to be, I'm feeling stuck, I know there's a better answer, I read my vision, but I can't emotionally move. So I call my coach, I call people who are in the program, the circle of support. Maybe I know somebody who has felt the same way that I've supported. And so I call them and I say, okay, it's your turn. I need you to know something better for me. This is where I'm at. This is where I want to be. And I'm very clear where I want to be, but I can't move. And just tidbits, just somebody else knowing something bigger just moves that energy, and you're all of a sudden in a different place. Not like leaps and bounds. Sometimes I never wait to see if it's going to happen right away. I just know it's going to happen in the way it's supposed to happen.
Yeah. When you think about community and the importance of surrounding yourself, you said you used to be the fixer and people would come to you, and just speak about community and the importance of having a community.
Well, I grew up in a community, in a rural farming community, and with parents who worked to develop the community and interact and whatever, and the ups and downs, whatever else, but the solid foundation of people who truly care about each other, even when on the surface it doesn't appear to sometimes. So I've carried that through my whole life, but I've lost sight of it from time to time. This community that you've created, I feel I'm at home, and I'm back to where people care about each other. We're all different, and we have different views of things, but it doesn't matter because we're all seeking the same thing. We're all seeking that with the caring heart, but we've all developed a quiet confidence in ourselves and each other in the community. knowing that if we reach out even to someone who doesn't know us, we'll have that support. It's immediate. And that's how small these small communities survived and thrived. And it's different now because we don't all live in the same place, but it feels like that. And again, that's why Immersion is so great, because you come together and it just feels like a family almost. And maybe that's exaggerated, but for me, it's exactly what it feels like. Yeah. And I'm there for anybody who's new, because sometimes, you walk in and you feel a little overwhelmed because there's this room full of people with all these smiles and hugs. And especially if you're not a hugger, it can be a little intimidating. But I can recognize that. I mean, I want them to be able to actually feel what it's like to live in possibility. Because even if you're there and you're resisting, which I know people come with some resistance because their husband, spouse, whatever, dragged them there, friendship or whatever, but they are going to have that feeling, whether it's momentary or whether it's a long period of time or one session or one sentence spoken, somebody's held their hand or whatever. They're going to have that feeling. And if they experience it once, they're going to want more. And why wouldn't you? World full of people believing in possibility. Yay.
When you think about how your faith has developed, so you were stuck in a job that was toxic, that was impacting your health, but kind of the golden handcuffs. And now that you've walked away from that and living more from your vision, where's your faith on letting go of the how?
Well, my ability to not worry about the how is deep, and it's grounding. And the best part is I can share that with other people and feel like I'm in total integrity, because I do believe that. I mean, when I used to think about money and the terror, and I always had a 6-figure income. I always had a lot, but I never had money. I had sleepless nights. I worried I would lose big amounts of money. And then when I look back, it was such a waste of energy. I'm doing what I love with people I love. I'm interacting. I have this amazing circle of support in this community that is genuine. It's like so genuine and loving. I'm living the vision. I mean, I carry it around with me all the time, because once in a while I just have to have a little read, because it's so easy to slip back. It still is easy to slip back. The awareness is still there.
Here you are in your 70s and with new dreams. So what would you say to the person who's like, I'm retired, I'm good? What does age have to do with anything?
Well, if they said I'm good, I'd say, would you love to be great? Because that's the difference. I could slide along. I could live a life of mediocrity. And by mediocrity doesn't mean it's bad. It's just, but I've had a taste of what it's like not to have to do that. And it's simple. It doesn't mean you have to do what I do. It doesn't mean you have to do anything that's different. It's the way you think about it, and the way you come to it, and the way you wake up every day, and the way you experience life. Wouldn't it be just more thrilling? I mean, I see too many of my friends of my age who have, stopped working and talk about how great it is. And then after we're all together, tell me how, oh my God, it's just, I don't know what to do some days. I don't know what to do with my time. I'm busy, but it's meaningless busy. And I always say to them, would you like to have more meaning in your life? Let me invite you to a weekend experience that will give that to you. That will give you something more than just mediocre. Mm-hmm. You still have to do the work.
Yes.
Yeah. But just, this is an invitation to something better.
Yeah. So thanks again for being here, Elaine. I am Stacey Berger, and here is to you living a life you love.